Hello everybody, Heather here with my hot water bottle. It's absolutely freezing cold here. I just want to say thank you for the wonderful comments that I've had about the videos. It does my heart good to hear that, as I said, if I can help just one person. Anyway, today I want to talk about sleep and about fatigue, because that is one of the huge things that is a problem to people with rheumatoid arthritis, and I know it affects me greatly. Sleep, I mean, it's essential that we all do it, and it's essential because it affects our physical and our mental health. And when we sleep, our immune system produces chemicals that help fight infection. And we're already in a compromised position for that, having rheumatoid arthritis. But if we don't get enough sleep, then our immune system can't function properly. And then it adds to the other complications. I've been doing some research on sleep. So, I'll look at my notes. 80% of people with rheumatoid arthritis report fatigue as part of their everyday symptoms. And according to rheumatologists, they say that problems with sleep can lead to increased levels of stress hormones, and it can aggravate our flares. And even if we're not flaring, we may not manage the pain that we have by not sleeping as well. So besides flares, patients that don't sleep properly tend to have more problems with depression, pain, and performing their everyday tasks. And that's one of the things that I find most debilitating about the lack of sleep. Now, people that are recently diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, they have huge anxiety levels, because it's a shock to your system to be told that you've got rheumatoid arthritis. So it's not surprising that you might see a lot of people that are recently diagnosed as having sleeping problems, because it's a really anxious time. But also, one of the big factors I think in us not getting enough sleep is that some of the drugs that we take can affect our sleeping patterns. Particularly if you're on things like, for instance, oral steroids, my favourite word, prednisone. If you're on those, that can affect your sleep big time. So it's really important that you try and take those as early in the morning as possible, and so that it's not going to stop you sleeping at night. So for me, I frequently have interrupted sleep patterns. And I can remember it was particularly hard when I was holding down a full-time job. That in my job, it often required me working all day and working evenings too. And I started having really big flares, and I'd be off work for a few months at a time. So what I did was I requested that I could work a 9-day fortnight. So I worked extra hours for those 9 days, and on the 10th day, which was every second Friday, I would have that day off. And that just gave me a long weekend to recharge my batteries, because otherwise, sometimes I spent the entire weekend sleeping, trying to catch up on sleep, just to make sure that my body felt okay to function for those other days. And often I would find myself coming home from work and having a cat nap. And then if you have a cat nap, it can be, that can affect how you're going to sleep all night. So there's no easy win with that. So what do I do to try and help make me sleep? And I'm not saying this is the right way by any means. Just last week I had one morning that it was like 5 o'clock in the morning before I slept, and I was in so much pain that at 3:30 in the morning, I took a really strong painkiller, which knocked me for 6 all day. But I frequently have, a few days of the month that I just can't get out of bed. That, I'll just get up and down, but just stay, and I need to have that as my catch up. So what happens when I can't sleep? Sometimes I'll get up and make myself a drink. They do say that you shouldn't have stimulants, so that's a really hard one, because if you don't want to have a milky drink, it can be hard. But I have found that sometimes when I get up and have a cup of tea, it does allow me just to drop off to sleep after it. What I also do is sometimes I listen to music, or I'll listen to a podcast, or sometimes I'll have like relaxing sounds like the sound of rain or waterfalls or thunderstorms, something like that. But I'm always careful that I shut the cover of my iPad so that I'm not seeing any light, because I don't want it to stimulate me. Okay? Also reading a book before you go to sleep, and just doing that. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow and sleep when you can. It's difficult. I can also remember when I was working that I've seen me get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and make, banana loaf or something like that. And that's okay when you live on your own, that there's nobody's going to find that a bit odd, the fact that you're getting up in the middle of the night and making any noise. But when you're living with other people, you have to be considerate of them. But my work colleagues often got banana loaf, when I came into work in the morning because I couldn't sleep. As I said, a lot of people follow their own course, and I did have a look at what the tips were from the professionals. So these are the tips from the professionals. They tell us to have a hot bath or a shower before you go to bed, and as that alleviates your joints and makes it easier. What we should do is have an electric pad or an electric blanket on for 20 minutes before you sleep, so it's nice and cozy and your joints are more supported, in the light, the heat. If you have got swollen joints, you should use ice packs to remove the inflammation. And one of the other things that they're telling us to do is to exercise during the day. Don't exercise at night because, before you go to bed, because that can impact how you're going to fall asleep. But gentle exercise and moving about during the day. Avoid stimulation. Keep pets and TVs and all your electronic devices out of the bedroom. Do not be looking at them, and I'm guilty of this one, but do not be looking at them before you go to sleep. Elevate your legs to alleviate pressure on your joints. So by sticking a pillow underneath your legs, that can often help. Practice meditation and focus on your breathing. Now there is some apps and there is some things that you can get now that actually does that with you. I have used that in the past and it has actually worked. I've had a bit of a sleep with that. You can also talk to your GP and see if there's anything that you can be given in medication-wise to help you sleep. Avoid bedtime snacks and alcohol. Alcohol is not going to help you sleep, no matter what they say. Although there has been times when I've had to have a toddy, I must admit. And they talk about a soothing sleep environment. Memory foam pillows and memory foam duvets and mattresses. Make sure that you have that. But whatever, make sure all your bedding is light so it's not going to put pressure on your joints. Okay, I hope you found me talking about sleep has been useful to you. I wish there was a magic wand that I could just say that we're suddenly all going to be able to sleep and and not be affected. But it's one of those things, you know, we don't sleep and then we're absolutely shattered during the day. It's really hard because sometimes you feel like you're going to just drop off during the day, but they tell you you shouldn't, because then that's going to affect how you're going to sleep all night. Like I say, sometimes we just have to go with the flow. And as I say, part and parcel of that for me is sometimes I just need to stay in my bed for a couple of days until I feel that I can carry on. Okay, that's it for now, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and do a thumbs up. Thanks for now. Bye.